Hi, I'm Professor Beck Strah.
And I'm Professor Eric Bronson. And this is Prison Breakdown.
2, 3, break!
Hate to spoil his fun, but we're gonna bust out of here.
2, 3, break!
I'm locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
2, 3, break!
I can honestly say I'm a changed man. No danger to society here. God's honest truth.
2, 3, break!
I'm not leaving this cell. I'll get out my way. The right way.
2, 3, break!
Ahoy, dudes! Welcome back, and welcome to Short Time.
Ahoy,
Short
dude.
version of Prison Breakdown. Ahoy, dude.
Yeah, short time. Short time. All right. Did everybody know what the heck short time is and when we're dealing with prison?
Eric, why don't you tell me what short time is? And better yet, tell the listener.
I gotta talk to those listeners right now because they're begging for more.
They
More
just
prison
want your
breakdown
slop.
more often. So, a short prison sentence is generally considered to be 12 months or less, and that can be for anybody who's serving a short sentence for a lower level offense while in prison. So, either first-time offender, typically non-violent, maybe some of our drug offenders. And it's also can be individuals who have served a long time, lots of years, but are getting close to serving out their sentences. So, keeping with the theme of short time, we got a little bit of a new format. And what helped inspire this was my recent trip over to the minimum security institution at the ACI here in Rhode Island. Took a quick visit to the minimum security prison where everybody inside that institution is on short time. A lot of them are spending time during the day out on work release and trying to reconnect with society. So we have probably, I think they said about 160 individuals with about 110 of them going out every day, working in different places throughout the state, whether cleaning up the roads, cleaning up graffiti, or if they have legitimate jobs that are making real pay. So they talk about some of those individuals that were doing some work with some HVAC companies, and they're making $25 an hour, which is pretty much unheard of for inmates, but damn good for those who are on legitimate short time.
25 an hour with free room and board is a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah. We just gotta, you just gotta, commit the crime and get convicted and sentenced here in Rhode Island. That's all.
Eric, what is the restriction on, what's the criteria for short time for the minimum security facility out here? How little of time do you have to be doing? And is short time relative? Does it mean you're doing less than 2 years, something like that?
Yeah. So, looking around some places I found when I was looking around in terms of how to define a short prison sentence, overwhelmingly the benchmark, the standard is 12 months or less. So, which makes sense here in the United States. If you're 12 months or less, you've probably done some significant time, but there's also some folks who had placed up there that in the United States, the definition includes sentences under 4 years as short time.
We've inflated it so much that we have to.
That's absurd.
We have so many people locked up for so damn long that 4 years or less is considered
48 months is such a long time.
Exactly. Now, I don't know if maybe, we can look at the majority of states at 18 months or less, and you can get to a minimum security where you're acting as if you're short time. And what that generally means is that all of a sudden you're eligible for a lot of these programs like a work release or mandatory programming such as drug offender, sex offender programming, where you have to take those prior to being released to the streets and re-entering society. For the most part, most of the individuals here in Rhode Island were a year or less. So Yeah. Ready to get out there on the streets. They've served their time, but overwhelmingly it's 18 months or less.
That's cool. That's good to know. What
Yeah.
else? Is there anything else you can tell us about short time?
Well, and then, obviously we could talk just a moment about good time. Probably heard about that. I know that was one of our favorite things we used to joke around about. The institution I worked at was the inmates always asking for their good time. You'd walk around the yard. Hey, Cap, you got my good time. They, call us Cap for everybody was a captain, even though we weren't even on the custody side, so we didn't have ranks. But yeah, it was you got my good time. That's where you get credit for good behavior. A lot of states have gotten rid of that, which is awful, I think, because then behavior doesn't matter inside the institution because they're doing flat time. But these that's another way to shorten up your sentence, or if there's pretrial custody involved where you're getting where you're sitting in jail for a long period of time, that can come off of your overall felony sentence as well.
It's time served.
Time served.
Yeah.
Almost never hear. You almost never hear of judges saying we're not going to give you time served. So yeah.
How much of an asshole would you have to be denied time served?
You'd really have to piss off a judge to make sure you didn't get your time served, especially if you spent a significant amount of time in the jail. Like you did 2 years, waiting, while you were processing through your trial, and they're not going to give you that off your sentence. You've made somebody mad.
Yeah, and you mentioned good time. So the way people typically get good time, it's like a percentage of time that's shaved off of your sentence, or it can be, I think in Massachusetts, it was like 6 days a month for a while there. Yeah. And you could get this time shaved off by exercising good behavior. You could get it taken off by engaging in programs. You could get it taken off by having a job and working within the facility. So even in facilities where you don't get paid by the facility, you can at least shave some time off your sentence.
You get your GED, you get some good time, right?
Yeah, but the part that sucks is like you think about this in the converse, and it means if you don't get a job while you're in prison, you're doing more time. Like it's,
whoa, really?
Yeah. Well, think about it. If you're not getting good time, you're doing a longer sentence. Okay. So by not having a job, you end up doing more time.
Yeah.
The default, as it might be stressed, but it's not really the default if you get a job.
It's still, I still see, in terms of good time versus flat time, as a staff member, I would much rather have the ability to award an individual good time for doing good things versus them doing a set sentence, and no matter how they behave, they're doing that sentence. And you can't get them, you can't reward them for doing things that we want them to be doing, like that programming you said. So I would always take the good time, and the indeterminate sentence, I know sounds scary, but being able to award someone good time, it sure is something that I think gets folks on the right path while they're incarcerated.
There are so few rewards that inmates get while they're in prison anyway. So give them this reward. Like, we've already inflated our sentences a lot, and that's the one thing that is still anchoring them to like a more realistic prison sentence, is the possibility of parole and or good time. And why take that away?
Yeah, exactly. So while we have these short time format episodes, they're going to focus on news that is hot off the razor wire. So why don't we get over to some fresh news?
Fresh news, hot off the razor wire.
Eric, slap us with some news, baby.
Oh, here's some great news. At our favorite institution, the Louisiana State Penitentiary at Angola, recently they held a dance at the prison for fathers and daughters. So that gives their father the opportunity to have a dance with his daughter, a rare moment for them to reunite. So, coming out of the AP, Leslie Harris has missed most milestones in his daughter's life while serving a decades-long sentence in Louisiana for armed robbery and is unlikely to get out before her prom, her graduation, and maybe even her wedding. But for one night at Louisiana's largest maximum security prison, Harris made his own moment with his 17-year-old daughter while donning a custom tux and clutching a bouquet of roses, reuniting at the prison's first father-daughter dance where they embraced to Stevie Wonder's Isn't She Lovely at a pink heavy party this month that was wildly shared on social media. And let me tell you, the reactions on social media were all over the place. But I look at that. What a fantastic event to allow fathers to have the opportunity to even see their kiddos and share a dance with them.
Yes. So two of our wonderful former students who came along on our Louisiana trip last year, they sent me the article on Instagram, and the first thing my critical brain thought is, why not more? Why not?
Right.
Why not have more? Like at a certain point in the 80s, I think it was like every state had furlough programs.
Mm-hmm.
And after the Willie Horton incident,
right,
they were all eliminated, and we don't have them anymore.
Well, and it's cheaper too, right? It's cheaper not to have a furlough program. So what an easy cut that is after Willie Horton.
Yeah. So like having a furlough program where your dad can actually come out to the community and come to the dance with you, and then he goes back to prison. Do that. That seems more reasonable than having all these people come to this prison that is miles from anywhere, realistically, in Louisiana. Like you're making these disadvantaged families, many of them, I'm sure, come to you, and it's a good thing. Yes, it is a good thing. It is a step in the right direction, but it is not. It's like barely scratching the surface of what we could be doing or reforming here.
Right. So it says here in Louisiana, prison officials say the dance could become another tradition at the rural lockup in Angola, which every October, and
we call it Joctober on this podcast.
Yeah, and 1 week in April hosts the country's only prison rodeo.
Hell yeah!
Yes. So it has several thousand prisoners, including dozens of people on death row, and is on the same grounds where the notorious lockup was converted into an immigration detention facility in September. But the assistant warden easily said she hoped the dance would bring a sense of hope that can be elusive in prison, where many are serving decades-long or life sentences. For some men, it was a chance to reunite with their daughters for the first time in months or even years, an opportunity to rebuild relationships and heal wounds. For others, it meant a night where they wouldn't be seen as an inmate, but rather a dad. How awesome is that?
So I also have to wonder if this comes on the heels of last year's film Daughters. It was a documentary on Netflix about a daddy-daughter dance
in DC. Yep.
Yeah, that took place in outside of DC. And did they get the idea from that? And our system is so unoriginal that somebody had to see a Netflix documentary in order to go, what if we do that?
So this dance was put together, or was put on by a group called God Behind Bars, which hosts other reunification events and religious services in prisons nationwide. And in videos the group posted before the dance, some prisoners said they wanted to apologize for all the years missed. But yeah, so there are groups that are going around that are sponsoring this.
Eric, let me interrupt. Britt and I haven't listened to a word you said after God behind bars.
I haven't been able to stop laughing. Just imagining them like processing God and like it's like, yeah, you get 1 hour of yard time every day, but I'm God. I don't care, man. I don't care what your name is, man. Like,
yo, Old Testament God, a lot of murder going on here, right?
Yeah, right.
God behind bars.
It's time you stand trial, God.
Yeah, right. Let's take him to account finally. Yeah.
So, Chris, just so you know, God Behind Bars is it's a Christian ministry program that tours around the country, and they seem to have a strong foothold in Angola.
Oh, so it's not like an advocacy group for like we should put God behind bars. That's Brit's new cause de celeb.
Well, here's something. If you had a shirt that was sponsoring them, God Behind Bars, and you had, just like the bars sitting there with hands on it.
Oh yeah, I'd have that, but like his googly eyes and like a big nose and beard like sticking out from between the bars. That's what I'm picturing.
And instead
I
of
just wondered how people would feel about that. How would they react?
And instead of like concrete above and below the bars is like clouds.
Yeah, how would people react? It's impossible to know. Britt, did you hear anything about this story? Had you read about this rodeo?
No, but this sounds like a film they'd make for like a Christian streaming service starring Kevin Sorbo and Dean Cain. God Behind Bars. Yeah. It's like they imprison God and we're gonna break him out.
Oh, yo, we all watched that movie when they put that out on streaming.
It's a sequel to God on Trial. Yeah. I'm sure you've heard of God on Trial.
Yeah.
Well, Eric, it's my turn to hit you with some news, friendo. And
let's have it.
Tell you what, I'd like to start this off with a musical cue.
Uh-oh.
That's right.
That's not right. That was
wrong. We have a jailbreak, and that jailbreak happened at the St. Landry Parish Jail in Opelousas, Louisiana.
Really?
Another Louisiana jailbreak in the same year.
Nice.
What are the chances? And the St. Landry Parish Jail is located about 150 miles northeast of New Orleans. And on Wednesday, December 3rd, 3 inmates found a part of the jail wall that was crumbling and removed the concrete. So weirdly similar circumstances to the jailbreak we saw in May of this year. And the 3 inmates, they used sheets and they used other items to scale a wall, getting them outside of the jail, and they lowered themselves to the ground and ran off. And of the 3, 2 of these 3 guys are still at large. We have Keith Eli, age 24. This guy is looking at a second-degree attempted murder charge. We also have Jonathan Jevin Joseph, which is JJJ. It's too many J's.
That sounds like one of those skills they have you work on in speech therapy.
so one of those exercises they have you do, like, all right, lion, lemon. All right.
Oh, like
Jonathan James Joseph, like.
So Jonathan Jevin Joseph, also age 24, dude is facing several charges, including first-degree rape. And the third escapee, Joseph Allen Harrington, he was facing trial for a handful of felony charges, including home invasion. And he's at, I don't know whose house he was at, but police surrounded the house and they got on the loudspeaker and they're like, come out with your hands up. And he committed suicide with a hunting rifle when police approached the home.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm surprised that has happened so fast and the other 2 have not even been detected, but some people are better at hiding.
Yeah.
So
It's not the
present.
hiding. I mean, this is not the time of year to be busting out and be on the loose trying to hide. It gets cold down there too.
Yeah, dude, it gets cold in those bayous and those swamps.
Hell yeah.
So there's a massive manhunt going on right now, trying to find these two gents in Louisiana. And if you
we will be tracking their progress, won't we? We will keep our listening audience up to date on the progress of the escapees.
You guys, any chance to play that manhunt theme, and we're going.
We'll do it. Well, we will do it because you just gotta.
I'm just gonna put it on the soundboard at this point. Like there's so many like times where it's just like this crappy phone quality that you're playing into your microphone. I'm like,
and
this
then it
sounds
just plays
bad,
something
but
else.
like if I take it out, it's gonna like lose context because you're like, here's a song, and like if I cut it out, it's gonna be here's a song. So anyway,
Well, I think it's necessary at this point. We're gonna have manhunts.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'll put it on the soundboard. Whatever.
Right.
If we get a
Love
DMCA,
improvements to our soundboard.
If we get a DMCA, now the university gets a DMCA. No, it's a short enough clip. I think you're allowed 13 seconds or less before copyright comes in. So
perfection. That's what it was made for.
Speaking of copyright infringements, I think there's one other thing I need to just bring up real quick. It kind of has to do with copyright and soundboard, but I also think it's important for me to mention because we're all about true crime, right? And all about crime that's really true and going on out there in the real world, and probably
really true going on out there in the real world.
Sure.
That's how I define true crime.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. True crime is not very true a lot of times when it's on TV or on these podcasts, right?
It has resulted in the true crime complex is like, quick aside, taken off to a point of just like giving people like Law and Order SVU brain, and people it is like increased everyone thinking that they're going to be victimized by such a ridiculous degree. It is. The fad with true crime right now is one of the most irritating trends that I can think of that I've seen in my lifetime.
People can't get enough of it. Yeah. They love it. They eat that shit up. But this goes to show how unartistic I am, right? I have never watched the Grammys in my life ever. And I don't know.
What are the Grammys for?
The Grammys are for music, right?
I'm a musician, and I do not care about the Grammys.
Okay.
I care about the Grammys.
I've never watched an episode. I've never gotten into any of the nonsense about who wins what, but I did come across something very, very interesting, something that we're going to miss. And even if you watch the show and watch every second of it, you're not going to see this. I'm going to pay very close attention this year at the Grammys, because there's just something I think is this going to be as poetic as any type of anything that's ever occurred in the music industry, and it has to do with this odd category for nominations for the best audio book, narration, and storytelling recordings. So first off is Kathy Garver for Elvis, Rocky and Me, the Carol Connor story, Nobody Gives a Rat's Ass, right? Trevor Noah for Into the Uncut Grass. That probably sounds pretty good. Ketanji Brown Jackson for Lovely One, a memoir. Next up, the Dalai Lama for Meditations, the Reflections of His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. And then by far the most important nominee ever at the Grammys, Fab Morvan.
Oh, what?
Fabrice. You might know Fabrice for You Know It's True, the real story of Milli Vanilli.
Yeah. Oh, as soon as you said Fab Morvan, I'm tuned in. I'm locked in. I thought this whole thing was going to be a Rickroll in how you were.
No, this is incredible.
He has a book. That's incredible.
Well, and now he's nominated for a Grammy after years ago, him and Rob having the Grammy stripped because they lip sync "Girl, You Know It's True," for which they won the Grammy back in the 80s. And I think this is the greatest, twist ever, that we have somebody who had a Grammy stripped because they faked it is now reading a book about faking it, and they might win the damn award. Although there's some heavy hitters in there, Trevor Noah, Ketanji Brown Jackson, the Dalai Lama. So up against some stiff competition.
This matters, and
this does.
I'm inspired. I'm going to read this book.
Yes,
we'll meet back here in a fortnight to do a breakdown of it. We'll talk about it on Library Lockdown.
Excellent. All right. Well, that's all the news we have for today. And I think it's rather important for us to give a quick shout out to Roger Williams University School of Justice Studies, offering degrees in anthropology and sociology, criminal justice, forensic science, international relations, legal studies, political science, and some master's degree in public administration, leadership, and public administration. Well, I said public administration, but most importantly, criminal justice. Excuse me. So, thank you, Roger Williams University School of Justice Studies, for your faithful support.
Thank you, Roger Williams University School of Justice Studies. Come see us at the School of Justice Studies. We'd love to talk to you. And in fact, we'd love to teach you. So come join us. Get in on the justice.
And I believe that's lights out for this short time.
Oh no, we have a little movie minute, folks.
Oh, we do. Get that movie minute out there then. I apologize.
Movie minute. 60 seconds with producer Britt to talk about movies.
All right, so our subject of the day was short time and good time. So I decided I'm going to pull up a little review I wrote for Good Time from 2017, a film by the Safdie brothers, Josh and Benny, and starring Robert Pattinson and Benny Safdie. Pattinson plays a small-time criminal who ropes his disabled brother into a life of crime in the ensuing fallout thereof. This movie is intense, unrelenting, and almost punishing. If you've seen the masterpiece Uncut Gems, you'll know the Safdie brothers' penchant for high-stakes, stomach-squirming anxiety over a plot and incredible performances, and this film absolutely delivers on both levels. But viewer beware, this film will make you feel very, very bad. It's a visual masterpiece and concise and represents accurate, awful situations very vividly and will surely ruin your day. 4.5 out of 5 soups.
It'll ruin your day.
Yeah, it's a magnificent film. I loved watching it.
Mm-hmm.
It's made me feel like I was on the edge of my seat the whole time.
Yeah.
And as producer Brett used to say, it's intense like a fence.
Very true. Just like a fence.
I've never quite figured out what it means, but it's going to catch on, you guys. And
It is
you
someday.
can expect to be hearing that on the streets.
On the TikTok, too. The young ones are getting into it.
All those middle school kids will be saying it.
Yep. 6'7", intense like a fence.
So thank you for that movie minute. And
Yes,
in the
sir.
short time episodes, Britt gets to pick his own feature film to discuss.
Indeed.
So I will not be assigning another film, nor will Judge Bronson. And
Absolutely not.
You can stay tuned for the next episode that's full length for the real deal. And with that, stay intense like a fence. Lights out, baby.
Lights out.